The aim of the Touch and Rice podcast is to spread fun in the touch football community. We talk a little bit of touch footy chat, but mostly play games and throw some banter. Hosts Cess and Kimmy would like to pay respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet.
My name is Jorgie Skiing, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. I would also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Mabuhay, Kimmy.
Hola.
And mabuhay to our guest, who I can absolutely say this because she understands what I'm saying. Mabuhay to Bianca.
Yes, mabuhay to you both as well.
So Bianca Arco, who we have joining us from Manila in the Philippines, who we are very familiar with. So it's exciting to have her on the fourth episode of the podcast, Touch and Rice podcast. Should be fairly well versed with the different games and things we're playing. You should just naturally fall into it. B before, and also known to a lot of us as B, so I'll probably just fall into that and call you B throughout this. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Okay, I'm going to jump straight into your brag sheet because I got you to send through a little bit of this, and I'll touch on your role at FIT in a moment, but you are a touch player in your own right, so not playing this season. But let me jump into a little bit about you that you sent through to us. So, 2015, you're a Touch World Cup player yourself and co-captain of the Philippines Mixed Open. Kimmy, you were part of this side, of course. 2018, you had a test match for the Philippines Mixed Open team. 2015 to 2018, you were a Touch Philippines committee member, and so Touch Association Philippines, so TAP. 2018 to 2019, you were officially the TAP president. 2019, you were the tour team manager for the 2019 World Cup Men's Open and Women's Open, and did a fabulous job. I can personally attest to that. 2013, Manila Nomads Rugby Women's in the mixed, and in 2020 to currently FIT Member Relations Commission for Asia. How do we go? Is that a decent wrap?
Yeah, pretty much captured all of that.
Excellent. So we'll talk a little bit more about your FIT role in a moment in a set of 6. So the next segment that we'll jump into is a set of 6, sometimes touch, sometimes not related questions, but most of them will be touch related in this instance. So question number 1 in your set of 6B, how did you start playing touch? What attracted you to the game?
Okay, my touch origin story for me started when I was in the 7th grade. So I grew up in Singapore and Malaysia. That's where I went to primary or elementary school and middle school. So at my school, which at the time was Mont Kiara International School in KL, or MKIS, I had an Aussie science teacher who wanted to have a touch team for the school. So he basically established the very first touch team at our school, recruited a bunch of girls from middle school and high school to be on that team. And that's where I learned how to play from 7th grade up till 9th grade. And we actually won like silver and bronze medals in CSAC, which was the league where our school was participating in. And yeah, since then, when I moved back to the Philippines, wasn't playing for a while because the sport's not very popular in the Philippines. But I found the rugby and the touch rugby community a couple of years later. And that's where I found the Manila Nomads Rugby Club. And at the time, they had the first amateur, meaning non-school team that was playing in the local leagues. So that's when I started getting involved with like Philippines touch, or sort of the touch community in the Philippines. And that was also around the time that we were making our first campaign to enter in the World Cup. I honestly had no ambition to be like a national athlete or anything, or represent internationally. Like I just wanted to play casually, and like, meet new friends and everything. But yeah, I was able to represent the Philippines in 2015. And then since then have just been getting involved in all ways possible to try to grow and develop the sport in the Philippines. And that's how I met you guys as well. Um, Playing internationally and like just looking for ways to grow and develop the sport locally. And then from there, that's where I started branching out from, not just being a player. I became a referee as well. I became a sports administrator. And more recently, that's how I got involved a bit as well.
You said it way more cooler than I did, your Touch origin story. So I'm going to steal that for future podcast episodes. So let's fast forward. I had this down as question 4, but while you're talking about it, Touch in the Philippines, tell us, for people that don't know, outside of TAP and the Filipinos, even here in Australia, probably don't have a great appreciation for what it's like if they haven't been there and
Mm-hmm.
played. What is it like? Maybe from when you started to what it's like now and the development, or has there been much development in that time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this is actually true for a lot of how touch started in Asia as well, because uh, a lot of it comes from the rugby community, um, and the rugby community in most parts of Asia started by the expats and by international schools, the children of expats. So that's and usually at the school level, it's boys rugby and girls touch. So for a lot of developing nations in Asia, there's a lot more girls touch, which progresses into women's touch, um, versus boys touch or men's touch. So in the Philippines, excuse me, in the Philippines, it started out as a school league. So with the different schools, international schools that were playing touch rugby, and this was just girls touch rugby. Um, the Manila Nomads Bullets, which is the club team that I play for, they were the first non-school team that joined the school league. So you have a bunch of different girls teams versing each other, and then this one women's team that sort of joins just to add to the numbers. And then later on, they established touch in the University of the Philippines. So that's how touch started, sort of at the with the local players, and in the local scene, I guess. And this was all at the time girls touch rugby. So that's why in the Philippines, at least, we have higher participation for women in touch. And then later on, that's when we started having a men's league. And the men's league also started from, from rugby players that sort of wanted something competitive but less physical, I guess. So it's that's how it started to develop. So I'd say, at least from my time over the past few years, it's definitely evolved. Um, it's branched out from just the girls' game, and now we have more boys' teams. At the time, we weren't also really playing mixed touch. It wasn't a popular format here because there were no boys to join for mixed touch. But now that we have established a few men's teams, we can have some really fun mixed games throughout the year as well.
Next question for you. So what I'm garnering from that is would it be accurate in saying that it's developed somewhat quickly since from what you've seen, and there's still a fair way to go? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, there's definitely, we're still considered a developing nation, sort of in the world of touch. It's it's come a long way, but there's definitely still a ways to go before we become, a top tier nation. And that's sort of the reason why we like to do exchanges or like connect with Filipinos from all over the world, because we're bringing different skill levels and different perspectives into how we play in the Philippines. Just having access to that kind of exposure or a different way of playing, I think, is beneficial. And um, you know, having players from abroad that come over, usually people like to come home for Christmas, and we always invite everyone to, like, come and play socially or like do a clinic or something, because it's a good way for the players based locally to get to play with someone who has a different skill level, or plays a more experienced or a more technical game versus what you'd play here, or what you'd find here domestically.
And you started to touch on it then, but what are some of for people that don't know, what are some of the challenges that a country like the Philippines face in developing their skill levels and the game of touch?
I'd say for us, in the Philippines, it's really access to facilities, because we are a tropical country, so it's very hot here. It's very hot, so it's very hard to maintain grass. So we're not blessed with very many parks or public spaces, especially in Manila, where it's highly urbanized, and nothing is free. You can't just rock up to a park and throw a football around. You really need to find places to rent out and be able to play with your teammates, and that gets really expensive. So access to facilities, I'd say, is the biggest challenge for the Philippines, for growing the game in the Philippines. And um, also, I guess, the lack of coaches with the experience to be able to teach players. So, one thing that I can also say has really improved the game in the Philippines is the number of referees that we have here. So the referees that are part of the Philippines, the TAP community, they're really very committed and passionate about learning and improving themselves as referees, and they really look for opportunities, especially regionally around Asia, to be able to referee international games and then bring that back to the Philippines. And the standard of officiating has improved drastically, like over the past few years as well, which has helped. So, you know, no complaints about the referees. Maybe we need more of them, more referees, so that we can have more games. But I'd say top one and two issues would be, access to facilities and access to coaches as well.
I can certainly speak to the access to facility, or lack of, I should say, access to facilities. And it's something that surprised me and maybe would surprise not only the Aussie-based Filipino players, but maybe Aussie players in general, just that it isn't, maybe sometimes we take it for granted that we can just pop down to the local park. There's one 5 minutes away and have a
Yeah,
game, and that's where you ran Camp Kimmy as well. You've got access. Players can go down to White's Hill, maybe not run around on field one, but that's a world standard facility that they can go run around on and set up a game, which you just don't have in Manila. And it's I
no,
was really surprised running one of those clinics with yourself and Paulo when I was over there, and we're having to pay per head to the
yeah,
place to use the grounds. So
yeah,
it's a good point, and something, again, that I think we take for granted. And not only the Philippines, but maybe some other countries, developing countries too, have that
mm,
kind of challenge.
I would actually say it seems to be a something that happens in a lot of Asian countries that are highly urbanized and very dense in, you know, their cities and whatnot. I had an opportunity to go over to Japan when I was with TFA, and I had the opportunity to coach some clinics over there. And yeah, it opened my eyes as well. Like one of the schools that I turned up to, they had zero grass and it was just all dirt. But these kids were running around on this dirt yard, I guess, if you want to call it that. But the same sort of thing. It's a lot of urbanized areas, and just the green space is just so hard to find. And again, as you said, B, it's, you know, because there's not a lot of it, then it's going to cost money. And a lot of a couple of the grounds that we went to were also synthetic for that reason of, you know, the weather and trying to maintain something for them to access. But again, it's a cost. So yeah.
We're definitely lucky over here, and something, as I said before, we sometimes maybe take for granted, and that people wouldn't realize. Question number 4 for you: your favorite touch memory. Now, Kimmy and I have been involved with a few of these. Myself personally, obviously Touch World Cup 2019, you were managing both of our sides. And then we had a club tournament in Hong Kong as well, which was a lot of fun. I remember that one fondly. And I know obviously you played 2015 with Kimmy. So no offense if you choose one of those over the other, but do you have a favorite? Not out of those, just in general, a favorite touch memory.
That's a tough one because there's so many good memories, right? But I don't know. I guess for me, I don't know. Nothing beats playing. For me, it's like if you have the opportunity to play, then for me that's really top notch. Like in terms of all the really great memories. And well, for me at least, the peak for me was playing in 2015, and yeah, that was like everything, because it's just such a journey, right? You train so hard for months, you figure out how to get yourself over there to wherever the World Cup is, and then you just play games. For me, that was my first World Cup, and I really didn't know what to expect. But I just remember like just the vibe of being there and being with so many people who are like, you know, who play at such a high level, and like the squad that we had in 2015 as well was extremely chill for such an intense event. Just everyone gelled together really well, and it was just so much fun. And you know, it's that would be the highlight for me. But there's a lot of really good ones that are up there with 2015 Touch World Cup.
Makes sense, and no offense taken. Question number 5. Tell us about your role at FIT. So the Member Relations Commission for Asia. What does that mean? And how did you fall into it as well?
Okay, so I guess I could say I have 2 roles with FIT right now. The first one being the Member Relations Commission for Asia. And this was like this was a position that sort of came up in, I think it was 2020, before or during COVID or something. And it was basically a position to liaise with the different NTO, National Touch Organization, different NTO representatives. And I felt like it was something I was already doing at the time, as like the former president for TAP, and you know, just someone from the Philippines looking for opportunities to like play with a club team from Singapore or from Hong Kong, or like connect with someone in like, you know, other parts of Asia for resources, or like coaching assistance, or anything. That's really how I met so many people from the region. So I felt like it was something I was already doing. And then when that position came up, I was referred for it, and then yeah, it's basically sort of connecting different representatives from around Asia with FIT. Just because from my personal experience as a former administrator for the Philippines, I felt like there wasn't enough visibility for FIT, or like I felt like I wasn't as a representative for TAP. I was like, so what exactly does FIT do for me as a developing nation or something? So it was to address that sort of thing, like sort of connecting FIT with the different countries. Because for Asia, it's very, it's not it can't be cut and paste because there's so many different nuances for the different sizes of the organizations around Asia. Some nations are more developed than others. Some nations have more or less access to facilities and resources than others. Some have funding while others don't. So it was basically helping those nations figure out what FIT can provide for them. So that's what I've been doing as the Member Relations Committee person for Asia. But more recently, because we have a World Cup this year, I'm taking on sort of the communications role for FIT for Touch World Cup. So I'm helping out with like event comms, and because it's the biggest World Cup in the history of Touch, there's so many moving parts. There's so many teams, uh, managers, staff, volunteers, everything. Like there's so many people involved and so much information that needs to be shared with everyone. So yeah, doing what I can to make sure that all that information gets out there to everyone.
And final question for you. You talked about the World Cup, largest event in Touch history. Where can people find you on the ground at the Touch World Cup in Nottingham?
I will probably be all over the place. Where we have some exciting things planned for this Touch World Cup, but I don't know, you'll probably find me maybe in the media center or the command center, the control center of FIT, making sure that all the match results are posted and all the content is being churned out. We're going to try to make it as real time as possible as we can, but it'll be really challenging. We're also hoping to produce some really fun content as well, not just for the people there in Nottingham, but for everyone who's joining from overseas, online, and who can be part of the event, even if they're not there on the ground. So can't say where I'll be exactly, but maybe you'll see me running around like a headless chicken there during next month in July.
Sounds exhausting, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you over there. I'm sure Kimmy and the rest of the Filipino team are
Well,
as well.
we might bump into you at the Jollibee, surely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our
Standard.
unofficial meeting. We'll be there.
Yes.
That's the set of 6 done, Bianca. Thank you very much. Well done. Now over to Kimmy for Kimmy's Corner.
All right,
Ooh.
so we're going to change it up this week. We've done a couple of different things where it's 1 week we did a this or that, and then we did who's most likely to, and it's just like a little bit of fun to get to know you a little bit more on a personal level. So I've got a list of things here. It's we'll call it I guess it's confessions. So you just got to confess.
Confessions.
Yep. I'm gonna ask you something, and you have to confess the answer.
Ooh, okay.
I've chosen the wrong word, but it says here confess. But anyway, all right, let's go. What is your go-to comfort meal?
Ooh, My absolute favorite is a Filipino dish called menudo. Um, how would you describe it? It's almost like a stew in a way, but Filipino version of what you would call a beef stew, but it's pork. It's a Filipino dish, so of course it has to be pork. Yeah, it's you just you have to have it with a cup of hot rice, and it's really soupy, so you just pile it on your rice, and yeah, it's my absolute favorite. I could eat that forever.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to write that one down. I don't think I've had that one.
I don't think I have either. And you've probably
Yeah.
answered the last question of the podcast, but anyway, we push on.
That's all right. My bad. Next one. What was your favorite activity in high school? You've probably answered this already, but
My favorite activity in high school, well, in Malaysia, it would have to be touch, of course. But in the second part of my high school, I wasn't playing touch anymore because we didn't have a team when I moved back to the Philippines. So I was on the varsity basketball team actually in the Philippines.
shock basketball.
Yeah, for someone of my height.
Well,
It doesn't stop any other Filipinos
I was just
Yeah.
gonna
on
say.
basketball. So
I was just gonna say. What is your guilty pleasure?
Ah, guilty pleasure. Um, Dessert. Dessert is my guilty pleasure. Um, it's my favorite dessert right now is this thing called, it's almost like a halo halo, but it's not. It's like a shaved ice dessert, and it's called ube cheese con nieve.
Oh, I think I've seen
So
this. Yeah.
yes. So it's like a shaved ice dessert. I don't know how they do it, but somehow it's like shaved ube ice, and there's leche flan, and there's cheese on top, and it's just irresistible.
It sounds really weird, but I bet you it's delicious, as most phyllo desserts are. All right. Who is your personal hero?
Hmm. Personal hero. Hmm. Who is my personal hero? I can't really pinpoint one right now. I would have to say, I'm gonna go with a safe answer and say my mom, because she is the nicest person that I know. Everyone says I'm so nice, right? But as the nicest friend of most people, the nicest person I know is my mom. So she just, yeah, she's been great at listening to whenever I need to rant. And she's just the most patient person ever. So yeah, she's a beacon of light for me.
Good answer. And I don't think that's a safe answer. I think that's a very honest answer. I feel like most Filipinos or Filipinas would also probably steer towards their mum. I certainly would as well. So, all right, what is your favorite song at the moment?
My favorite song. Um, okay, I'm kind of corny with this sort of thing because I'm super mainstream. Like, I'm not the person you go to for song recos or playlist recos. Um, but there's this one song that's been playing on the radio here in the Philippines, and it's kind of gone international as well. I've been hearing it a lot because it's summer season in the Philippines, and it's called Pantropico. It's just been playing everywhere in the Philippines, and it's really catchy. Uh, Very islandy vibes, and just fun. Song of the summer for sure.
Interesting. We might have to add that to our playlist for the World Cup.
I think you will need to, yes.
Pan Tropico. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
remember that. Okay, what is your least favorite food?
My least favorite food. Mm, I believe that anything with pineapples in a savory dish should not be consumed. So anything Hawaiian, anything that's supposed to be savory, but somehow has pineapples in it, no, it's a no for me.
Controversial. So obviously no pineapples on a pizza.
Nope, no, no.
B, wait a minute. We can't move on. Have you ever
What?
had pineapple pork adobo?
Nope, no, cannot, no. It doesn't belong in adobo.
You haven't tried
Sorry.
mine. I'm just saying.
Controversial. Okay. What is an item on your bucket list?
Item on my bucket list. There's a couple in there. But for me, I would want to visit Switzerland. Like, I don't know, for me, it's just I keep getting these sort of suggested posts and stuff about Switzerland and just how beautiful it is over there. So I hope to visit there one day.
I think we can both recommend that to you as well.
Okay.
And maybe you can jump out of a plane or a helicopter while you're there too.
Yeah, it's also on my list, but I haven't decided how much I really want to do that.
We'll go into that in a little bit. Okay. Whoa, where are we? Who would you be in a past life?
Ooh, who would I be in a past life? Like a person, or doesn't necessarily have to be a person?
No, it doesn't. It could be anyone or anything, being an animal or
Hmm, that's an interesting one. In my past life, or if I was something in my past life. Um, gosh, I don't know. I'd be like I want to say I'd want to be like a puppy or something. I don't know. It's just the life, you know? Like you just be cute all the time and someone takes care of you and, carries you wherever you need to be. No worries, right? And just
Cleans up
puppy,
after you.
not even like a grown-up dog, just a puppy forever.
yeah, endless amount of energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Good answer.
All right, I've got two more questions for you. So the second last one is, what is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear. Okay, greatest fear. Honestly, I recently had a bad dream about this. And then I woke up from this bad dream feeling like, oh my gosh, that's the absolute worst. I hope it never happens to me in real life. And it's like losing the brakes on your car. Like I'm not kidding, I recently had this dream a couple of nights ago, and then it's just like I lost control of the car. And yeah, for me it's that, because it's like, yeah, you have no control of the situation. You don't know if you're gonna die or not. So yeah, I was in that dream feeling like it was real, and then I woke up, then I was just like, whew, like I was like exhausted from that, but glad I didn't die in my dream.
I guess in the Philippines, that would not be the safest thing to not have your brakes driving around.
Yeah, well, anywhere, not just in the Philippines. Although it's not a big issue here because you're always stuck in traffic. So
In
maybe,
that traffic. So
yeah.
makes sense when you were grown up. Yeah.
That's it. Kimmy, is that it?
Yes, I didn't hear. My connection went out.
It did.
I didn't.
Yeah, I think we lost you for a second there.
Did you hear
Was
my
there another one?
question? Okay, so my question was, when you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay. Top of mind, the one that I recall most was there was one point when I was little that I wanted to be the lady at the cash register, because I think it was like, because like I was at the grocery with my mom, and then maybe it's not applicable now because the cash registers just aren't the same as they were in the 90s, right? Where they'd have those big, really pressable buttons. So there was a time like I really wanted to be a cash register when I was a kid.
Fun fact, that was my first job.
Really?
I worked at a cash register in a supermarket. So
Yeah, and you know the ladies
yeah,
and
press all the
yeah,
buttons, ding 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 ching, and then
yeah,
the drawer comes
exactly.
out with all the cash because there were no cards back then. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did become one of those for a while in school. They had us do these jobs, right? And I was the person that did the produce, like when you weigh your produce at the grocery. So I was able to do that as well. But the buttons, they just weren't the same. So it was like a half fulfilled dream, I guess.
The simple pleasures.
Phasing them out anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Well done, Kimmy. Kimmy's got
That's it
it
from
done.
me.
Next
All right.
part of the podcast, Bianca, is our games. So that's all the hard stuff
Okay.
out of the way.
More
So,
games.
talking about the Swiss Alps before,
Mm-hmm.
there's something on the line, as listeners will know. Kimmy and I currently up. I think Kimmy, you're up 3-2 in our game, so we're head to head here, and the loser has to jump out of a plane, skydive. And that hence the Swiss Alps reference, because we both had the opportunity and didn't do it out of a helicopter in the Swiss Alps. Can't promise that the loser will be in the Swiss Alps to do this, but somewhere we'll be jumping out of a plane, the loser. So
If someone wants to sponsor it, then
absolutely fit.
By all
B,
means.
you're in the right space. Maybe we'll hit up fit. So I gave you a choice before you jumped on the podcast between Pisces and Sagittarius. Is there a reason you chose Pisces, not spices, Pisces?
More because my best friend is a Pisces and we get along pretty well. I am an Aries. So I mean I'm not an expert in astrology, although that is reading my zodiac, whatever. That is also one of my other guilty pleasures. If I see it in wherever, I need to read the prediction for Aries. But yeah, I was sort of leaning towards the Pisces because my best friend is a Pisces, and I don't know, we get along well. So
Okay, so no
yeah.
getting along for the next two games because you're up head to head against Kimmy, and I need you to win. So game number one. So we've got two games. The first game I've got for you both, and Kimmy didn't know this was coming either. So game number
Okay.
one is going to be an Asian spelling bee.
Okay.
So
Asian spelling. Okay.
So you get 1 point for a correct answer. And if that person doesn't get it, the other person can have a shot if they would like, and they get half a point for a steal. So
for some reason, I had a feeling it was going to be spelling, and I'm on holiday mode. So
perfect. That's what I like to hear. So B, as the guest, you can choose to either go first or send Kimmy in to go first.
Maybe Kimmy is gonna go first.
Okay,
All
so
right.
Kimmy,
I've got to gauge this game a little.
good choice. So the first country, I've got 5 countries for you, of course, all Asian. The first country, and I've all chosen countries that are going to be playing at the Touch World Cup. So, and I apologize in advance for any poor pronunciation. I've tried my best. Google, I pressed play and listened to them a number of times. So let's see how we go. So apologies in advance. No offense to any countries that are listening to this. Number one, we're heading to Japan. So your word, Kimmy, to spell is the Japanese word for touch, which is touchy.
Okay. I would go with touchy. Tachi. Touchy.
Tachi. Incorrect. B, would you like to go for the steal?
Yes, of course I would. But I'm thinking that's how I would have spelled it too. Okay. Maybe just the conventional Touchi.
Kimmy was very close. It was
Double A.
T-A-T-C-H-I.
T-A-T.
Yes.
Tachi.
Chi.
Very
Yeah, with
close.
it. Yeah.
So
Okay.
0 point for you both.
Darn. Okay. That's a sneaky one. It's like, yeah.
I'm just writing down instead of B, I'm writing C.
0 points. So we're still tied.
Yeah, because you're playing for me, B, so I need you on point here. So
Okay.
your word, Japanese word, is the Japanese word for football. And it is futboru.
Futoboru.
Yes.
Okay. I want to say F-U-T.
That's rude. I mean, sorry.
Continue.
Sorry, please excuse me. F-U-T-O-B-O-R Futobori or Ru or
Futboru.
U. The last one is U.
Incorrect.
Ah,
Kimmy
That's
for the steal.
That's how I would have spelt it. Okay. Futoboru. It's definitely RU at the end. Futoboru. I'm gonna go with the FU straight back
Yeah.
at you.
Mm.
TO. Boru. Well, I'm just gonna. No, I would have. I'm spelling the
Exactly
exact same way.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're both got zeros there, and our poor Japanese touch players here are screaming down the camera or the phone.
I'm sorry.
Mr. T. Futtoboru.
Ah. So it's F-U-T-T-O.
Yes. Correct. B-O-R-U. So you're both of you very, very close.
I'm trying to look at
Wow.
the Japanese letters. So there's like the first letter is F-U-T, foot.
Mm-hmm. Double T.
Toe.
Yeah.
And then a toe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Foot, toe.
So 0-0
Okay.
after round one. Round two, definite apologies here if my pronunciations are off. We are heading to China.
Okay.
Touch China. So, Kimmy, your word is, again, the Chinese word for touch, which is chupang.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
How was my pronunciation? I think it was spot on, actually. Chupang.
I'm laughing because it sounds like you're saying cupine.
Yeah.
From our first episode.
I'm
so sorry.
Throwback there.
Okay. Sorry, you're gonna have to say it again. All I can hear
Yeah.
is
Can you
cupine.
say it again?
Chupang.
Okay, so Quipang.
No. Let me say it again. Chupang.
Oh.
Do I get a steal?
Yep, go for it.
Chupang. Q-U-P-A-N-G?
Ooh, very close, except for the Q.
What Kimmy
So,
said?
Say chew.
Chew. C-H-U-P-E-N-G.
Oh, pang. Okay.
Yeah.
When you first said it, all I could hear and see was the Q, not the ch. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, that's fine. Carry on.
Okay. So the Chinese word for football is zucho.
Okay.
Really sorry if I'm not getting that right.
I want to say, and I've got my pen for this. Z-H-U-C-H-O-N-G. Sucho?
No.
What?
Can
Kimmy.
you say it again for me, please?
Zucho.
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 I'm gonna go with XU
Mm.
CH O H.
No, incorrect. It's
Was it a U?
Z
CHUNG?
ZUQIU. Zucho.
Ah, with a
This
Q.
is much harder than I anticipated. I
It's
apologize in advance.
really, yeah, it's pretty
Okay,
hard.
Kimmy, over to you. Third country. We're heading to Malaysia.
Okay.
Malaysian word for touch is sentuhan. Sentuhan.
Is this me?
Yes.
Sorry, my internet wigged out. So can you say that this is Malaysian?
Malaysian for
Yep.
sentuhan.
Sentuhan.
Yes.
SENTUHAN.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Well
That
done.
that
Well
is
done.
how I would have spelt it too.
Okay, come on, B. I need
Okay,
this.
gotta get on the board.
Malaysian word for football is bola sepak. Bola
Ooh.
sepak.
Easy.
Okay. BOLASEPAK.
Correct. Well
Ah,
done.
I was worried if there was an H or not at bola.
Well done. So one
Whew.
point each.
Okay, we're done.
Country number 4, we are heading to Thailand.
Oh,
And the touch word, the Thai word for touch, I should say, is sumpad. Sumpad.
This is me, isn't it?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. SUMPAHT.
No.
Mm.
B for the steal.
Sumpad.
I will say both of these are very difficult.
Hmm.
Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, sorry. B, just to let you know.
Okay, I was gonna go with what Kimmy said without the H. So SUMPAT.
No.
No?
So I spelled these out phonetically. I listened to these back a number of times and I just spelled it out how they said it. But it's actually spelled SAMPHAS.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, that's
B,
tricky. That's
over to
very
you. The Thai word for football is football. Again, very difficult.
Could you say it again, please?
Football.
Hmm. Mm, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. Hmm. Not actually sure if they use like the letter F in Thai language. Um, PHUTBHAT.
No. Kimmy, over to you for the steal.
I just feel like I'm gonna offend someone. Can you say it again one more time?
Football. Football.
We're gonna go with the F, even
Hmm.
though I think it is also a PH, but FU again. Futbahn.
Not too far off, to be fair.
Huh.
FUTBXL.
Mm.
Sorry.
What?
Yes. No, there was no chance you were getting that. I'm sorry. But I had to run with the theme. I've given you touch football for a
Honestly.
bit. Yeah, I know.
The more you know, right?
Okay. There's a slight chance with this last country, and this might be a surprise for many other people, but we're heading now to a West Asian country, Lebanon.
Lebanon. Okay.
Yalla
So-
Habibi.
So in Arabic, the Lebanese
Oh, my.
word for touch is yalamis. This is you, Kimmy. Yalamis.
Yep. Yalla miss. Is that how it's phonetically pronounced?
Correct.
Yalla miss.
Yes. I hope so. Apologies to any Lebanese listeners if that's incorrect, but
This is going to be really embarrassing because my club back in Sydney are basically all playing for Lebanon.
Oh.
I'm sorry to West.
Okay, Yalla miss. Oh,
Yalla.
I'm going to get absolutely crucified because I'm going to get this wrong. But YAL, is it a double L? Yalla miss. YALAMIES.
No. B, over to you. Yalamis.
Okay. I'm gonna go with how it sounds. So phonetically, this is how I think it's spelled. I'm gonna go with the two L's for this. YALLAHMIS.
No. So there's no I. It's spelled YALMAS. Very simple.
Yalmis.
Hmm.
Last
Last one. So we're at 1-1. B, tough. I want to say gettable. I don't know. It's very difficult. So the Lebanese word for football is, and let me just get this in my head, the second part. So Kurat ul Kodame.
What?
Kurat ul Kodame. I think I did pretty well there.
I need to write this down.
I need to. Could you please repeat the words, sir?
Kurat ul Kodame.
Ah, that second one. Okay, very long word. Okay. Gonna go with. Could you say it one last time? One last time.
Kurat ul Kodame.
I'm undecided if there is a Q involved or not.
That's where I'm stumped as well. Because I'm looking at it like,
Man, this is a really hard one. Okay, we're just gonna go for it. Okay. Want to say KULRAT UL Q UL Q ADAMEH.
Incorrect. Kimmy, I can't say whether you were close or not. It'll just give
Okay.
Kimmy a chance.
Can you-
Okay, it's a tough one.
Okay.
It's a tough one.
say it again. I'm going to watch you say it.
Kurat ul Kodame.
Okay, so I'm also stumped if it's a K or a Q, but I'm just going to go with what I've written down. By the way, I wasn't cheating. Oh, I don't know if you can see it.
I know you
can
were
see
cheating
notes.
if you actually got it. I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna go with KURAT UKODAME, which is obviously incorrect because of your comment before.
But not too bad. Both of you, to be fair. So, Kimmy, you were right, actually. Kurat, Kurat. And then it's ALQADAM.
Okay.
Okay.
So after all of that, we are 1-1. So the
We're
score
tied.
remains 3-2 in the overall game. I'm going to keep it at that. So just to wrap that up, apologies to our Japanese, Chinese, Malaysian, Thai, and Lebanese listeners.
No apologies to the Malaysian listeners because that's where we both got our points.
That's where yes.
Well, I mean, apologies from me. I hope I pronounced those correctly. On to game number 2. Game number 2, I hope this works. So we are going to do tongue twisters. So I'm going to type on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type on here what I want you to say. Kimmy, you can go first.
Yeah.
And then you need to say these phrases as quickly as you can. The amount of times that you get through them will be, so if you get through it once and then stuff up, and then B has a go and she gets through it twice, then she gets the point. Best of 3. So the word, I'm going to say this as I'm typing it.
So hold on. I can't guess out loud. I've got to have a guess straight off. Is that what you're saying?
You've got to read. So you've got to read this as quickly as you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the phrase is, I'm going to type it so you'll see it and then you can read it out. So I'll say it just really slowly so the listeners that aren't seeing this on the video will see. So the phrase is, I slit the sheet. The sheet I slit. And on the slitted sheet, I sit. That's phrase number 1. So I've just typed it into our chat.
Okay. So I've got to say this how many times?
As many as you can and as quickly as you can. You'll get a point for every time you finish it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Ready? Let's go.
I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet
Oh, well done. You got through 7.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Didn't expect you to get through 7. Well done. Okay, B, over to you.
Oh my goodness.
7.
Okay, my turn. Okay. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I I sit.
That's what you were meant to stuff up on.
Yes. So
oh no.
7-3, unfortunately. So that's bad news for me. Kimmy gets the point there, but I have faith.
I'm sorry, Cess.
I have faith. That's okay. Okay. We've got, so the second phrase for you, I'm going to read this out as I say. It's a little bit of a longer one, so I'll be surprised if Kimmy get through 7 here. So the phrase is, I am not the pheasant. Well, let me see if I can write that out. That's quite a large word. I am the pheasant plucker.
Oh God.
Sorry. Let me just see if I wrote that correctly.
I
am not the pheasant plucker. Let me see. Sorry.
We already know this is going to go end bad.
Yes.
One of us is going to stuff up.
I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. That's your phrase, B. Right there. Should be on your screen now.
Yes. Wait, sorry. Do I go first?
You're first this time, yes.
I'm first. Okay, yeah. Wow, okay. Whew. Okay. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I am the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's.
Oh, we'll end it there. Nice work. That's good.
I'm the.
8.
Okay.
8. Well done. Well done. Well done. So you had the pause. That was good. Kimmy, over to you. Good luck.
I say late.
I think we can just end it there and we can make a really like trending TikTok song out of B's rendition. Because I was getting into that rhythm.
He was killing it.
Yeah. All right.
Best of
I'm
luck.
definitely going to stuff up. I've already said peasant instead of pheasant. It's pheasant, right? Pheasant, not peasant. Okay. Here we go. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I am not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I'm not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I'm not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I am only plucking pheasants because the pheasant plucker's late. I'm not the pheasant plucker.
You won it. We can stop you there. Well done. That's 9+.
Nice, Kimmy.
Damn it, Kimmy. Okay, I don't care that you've won this to zip. We're going to do the last one because I know you were going to stuff up on this last one, both of you. So here we go. So this last phrase for you, it is, I'm just going to read it out as I say it. So it is, one sock cutter, he cuts socks. Two sock cutters, they cut socks. And then 3, 4, 5, as many as you can. Got it?
Yeah.
So, Kimmy, I believe you are starting us off with this one. Just for fun, you've already won this and you're up 4-2 in the game, but let's see how.
So just to clarify, it goes one sock cutter, he cuts socks, two sock cutters, they cut socks, three sock cutters, they cut socks, It doesn't change between he and they, it's just they.
Yep. As fast as you can.
All right, here we go. One sock cutter, he cuts socks. Two sock cutters, they cut socks. Three sock cutters, they cut socks. Four cut socks. I said cot. I said cot.
Okay. You got through 3.
Rewind it. I said cot.
I don't know.
Okay, but you got to beat 3. Here you go.
One sock cutter, he cuts socks. Two sock cutters, they cut socks. Three sock cutters, they cut socks. Four sock cutters, they cut socks. Five sock cutters, they cut socks. Six sock cutters, they cut socks. Seven sock cutters, they cut socks. 8 sock cutters, they cut socks. 9 sock cutters, they cut socks. 10 sock cutters, they cut socks. I think we're good.
Good job. Well done.
It's a lot of sock cutters.
Yeah, that's just me. That's going to have that recorded.
Well done. But Kimmy, you officially won that game and are up now 4-2. End of the games. Thank you, B, for trying your best. That's okay. That's okay. So on to our next segment. Well, that's it for the games. You've already answered this or to end the tournament, but before we ask you actually, let's ask that. So we always ask our guests, B.
To end the tournament?
Did I say tournament?
You did.
You
That's
did.
all right.
Oh, sorry. To end
Still in competition.
Yeah, we are. To end the podcast, we always ask our guests your favorite dish to have with rice. Just remind us what that dish is. The beef stew.
Okay, so my absolute favorite dish is a Filipino dish called menudo. Filipino, Spanish, it's all kind of blended there. But it's perfect with a cup of fluffy white rice. This dish is like really saucy, or it's got soup or gravy, more of gravy sauce type of thing. It's got pork and carrots and potatoes and sometimes raisins, but because I don't really like the sweet things in my savory dishes, I don't like it with raisins. So no to raisins and no to pineapples in savory dishes. But yes, that is my absolute favorite thing with rice.
Okay, we will have to try that. That'll definitely be on the list. And the reason I said tournament is because we had a question given to us by our previous guest. That was Clusie from the Women's Open. The Women's Open England captain for the Touch World Cup 2024. She asks all of us really, but let's get you to answer first, B. Tournament breakfast. What gets you going?
Ooh, gotta have the carbs on tournament day. Gonna have to say, gotta have rice. Bacon and eggs. Bacon, eggs with rice. Yes.
Nice. Kimmy, I'll throw over to you. Tournament breakfast.
I can't eat a lot before I play, so I'll probably snack on a few different things. I do love a mango and banana smoothie. And then I'll usually chuck in like one, not into the smoothie, sorry, separately to the smoothie. I'll have like probably one slice of toast or a bagel, like half a bagel or like raisin toast or something like that. And then I'll grab maybe another banana or some pikelets or something like that.
Good answer.
For my big breakfast, I'm gonna need like a 3-hour runway. So yeah, that's gonna get me through the whole day.
Yeah, I'm with you both. I generally, if it's close to game, and if it's only one game, then I'm probably not having much outside of a piece of fruit. But if it is a whole day ahead, I'm having the eggs, the bacon, some toast, some oats, some fruit. I'm getting it all in. So thank you, Clusie, for that question. That's a great question, especially leading up to the tournament.
I will say though, Coffs Harbour 2015, with our Philippines mixed open team, I think our meal 3 times a day was spam, egg, and rice.
Yeah, sounds accurate.
So it depends.
Last question for you, B. I do have a sneaky one that I'm going to throw in there. Normally not one that I will ask, but you're on the touch board with a player that is in my team, the Aussie men's 40s, AJ Aaron Jones. Any dirt on AJ before we head over to Nottingham?
Any dirt on AJ? Well,
yeah, he won't listen to
this. You guys just better pay your fees on time. You don't want any problems with AJ. So
no, not at all. Good point. He's an accountant and he's the man that's all over the money. So
exactly. So don't mess with AJ. So you better get your fees in on time.
Good tip. Thank you, B. Thank you very much for joining us on the Touch and Rise podcast. Great to see you online, and we look forward to seeing you in person. I know you're not playing, but I always end the podcast with, we'll see you on the 7.
Yeah, see you guys.
Can't wait.
Thank you for listening to the Touch and Rise podcast. Please join us on all our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Touch and Rise Podcast.